It's one of the reasons that I think hurts the body of Christ because everybody feels like they have to have their own thing. It's very difficult for people in charge to submit to someone else's leadership. It's the reason why I think we can't. You got a church over here with 3 people and the church over here with 5 people. And really, they could do a lot more damage if they come together. But this pastor doesn't want to submit to that pastor's authority, and that pastor doesn't want to submit to him or whoever God says to be the leader. So they continue to be in their own little silo, working with their 4 or 5 people. And so I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing to join in with other ministries and do things. I think it shows the unity in the body of Christ that we are able to work towards a common goal without bickering and fighting. I think that's a good thing. So I don't,
And at
I
least he
hope he
has the
doesn't feel
heart to
bad.
do it. Just because he doesn't have a building, I mean, doesn't mean that you can't help in some type of way. So,
And
Yeah,
I
like
think
the
sometimes
church
you
is
think,
First Presbyterian, I believe, is the church that we build with. I forget the pastor's
mhm,
name there. And
good
that's one
stuff.
thing that I didn't think about saying, but I don't like absolutes, and I think that's the thing that bothers me the most about when people start talking about mega churches or small churches. They talk about them in absolutes. Small churches, blue, blue, blue. Large churches, blue, 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 and it's like that is not an absolute. Like that is not true in every case. Like like we take the person out of it, we take the personalization out of it, we take all of that out of it and just generalize everybody that goes to this kind of church and says you're all the same. But yet you get mad when the world turns around and looks at you because you're a Christian and you're a Christian and say y'all the same.
I mean,
I ain't
same
like
thing.
that.
Same thing
I'm
they
not.
do it with races and all like that. All black, one black person mess up, all the black people the same.
So one
One
mega
white
church
person,
drops, goes crazy. All y'all mega churches are doing this, this, and this. I don't like absolutes. I don't like the way people generalize everything. And even in the church, we generalize it.
Well, and part of the reason too is I think, are you looking to serve or are you looking to be served? And I
mm,
think that's a huge issue in the church because we now treat churches, small and large, um, looking to be served. Do y'all
mm.
have children's ministry? Do y'all have this? Do y'all have that? We're not coming in saying, Lord, where can I fit in? And what can I do to make this better? I we had a new brother that came to our church and I've been talking to him about some different things. He said, yeah, ever since I got here, I journal every day. And I'm like, Lord, how can I make destiny better? Where are the holes? Where can I fill in? How can I help? And he's a professor at one of the local universities, a Christian university not far from us. And what has he done? He's brought some of his students, and this student is interested in this ministry. So let me plug you in here. And even though they might not be there, but for a couple of years or maybe even just a semester, it is helping to build the church. And unfortunately, because of the society that I think we live in. We live in a society that wants to be served. What can you do for me? Then we take that same mentality and we bring it into the church. What can you do for me? How can you make me feel good? If the worship ain't on point, then it didn't make me feel good today. You got a problem. If the children's ministry don't have enough workers and they had to shut down the classroom, you got to keep your 2 year old. Oh, that don't make no sense, because everybody's looking to be served rather than to serve. And so maybe one of the things we need to pray for is a shift in our hearts to come in to be a service and be a blessing. Whatever your hands find to do, do it. Don't just be sitting around looking for somebody to give you a handout. I mean, it irks me. It irks me because people are looking to be served versus serving. And I think that is part of the mentality that flies around, especially with mega churches. I'm gonna go over here because they got a big church and they got this. I can drop my kids off. They're gonna have this. What are you doing to help?
mm, that's
Because the
why.
mega
Well,
churches have the same issues smaller churches have. 20% of the people doing 80% of the work.
It's
mm,
just
So if
Hmm.
you
harder
got a
because then you got
hundred
more
people,
people. You
I
just
know,
got
and that's
more.
really irritating to then know that you have 1,000 people on your campus, but you got the same 200 people that are serving. I shouldn't have to lead worship, lead the prayer service, go help with the kids ministry, jump off and do discipleship, and then help with, college meals, when we got other people that can do stuff and they don't. And so I think that's one of the things that has to shift completely in all churches, whether you small or big, is stop going to look to be served and go where you can be a blessing.
But I mean, that is true. We always have been like, if you want to volunteer, let us know, because it takes manpower to do parking and welcome and put people at the tables and prayer and then feed the volunteers who some of them sometimes have attitudes, um, ushers and all that kind of stuff. And just like Pastor was saying today, like Pastor Chet was saying, you don't know what it takes to actually run a service. Like y'all just come in and sit down. So that's why these next we have it production. I mean,
production, like,
yeah, we have so every year we have our e-connect group push where we try, we tell what all areas you can volunteer in and do all of that, because we do hear like, I don't feel connected, and it's always like, well, how long you been going here? Couple of years. Well, have you gotten involved? Like, you pass these, they tell you every day you can come to the orange tables if you want to volunteer, if you want to learn about baptism, all of that.
What if their argument is, I'm an introvert, and I'm not the kind of person that just strikes up conversations with people, and I kind of live in this little bubble, and I don't know how to have those type of social interactions with people to actually plug in. But I feel like that's going to be a problem whether you go to a big church or a small church. You're going to stare at those little bitty people and be like, and not say anything. So what do you say to people who are saying, it's my personality?
Yeah, I heard that too.
But
I heard
I've
that,
heard
like,
that, but you don't do that at work.
yes, they
If you
do.
want a job, I mean, but if you're going out to get a job, you're not going to say, I'm an introvert, I hope somebody come to me and offer me a job. You're going to take the first step and at least fill out the application. Am I right?
They're gonna
So
get the
take the
job and not
first
have no
step,
friends there.
but at least take the first step. Go to the orange table and fill out the volunteer card. And then let somebody contact you on one-on-one. That's not 100 people running up to you. Oh my God, we needed somebody for the children's ministry. That's one person reaching out to you saying, hey, you filled out the connect card and it looks like you're interested in this and this and this. And then let them talk. Yeah, I am an introvert, and I'm not really big on, I don't think I would do well, with standing in front of kids, but I really, really can, do this and this and this. I'm willing to be here to help set up early, or put out the chairs, or get the offering envelopes ready, or whatever. What do you need? And so you got to take a step. You have to take a
A part
step.
of me thinks that some people just want people to chase after them. Does that
I'm
make sense?
chasing after you.
Like they want someone to be like, oh, well, why don't you come and do, like, I can only mamsy pamsy you some. I'm not gonna sit here and chase after you. You
And the
grown.
people like that, if you chase after them like that, you're gonna have to do that to keep them. Oh, where you at? We thought you was on the ticket.
Just
I
See,
think
I
there's
feel like
always something for everybody.
I was going to say
Like
the same
you,
thing.
yeah, you may not be like, you may be introverted. Well, we have e-kids where you literally hold the babies, like the little babies. And when they cry, you feed them, you change their diaper. You ain't got to talk because they sleep half the time. It might be two of y'all in there. So it's more one-on-one than in a group. Or you can take pictures. You can go around the auditorium, take pictures outside, and then upload your pictures and do what. I feel like there's something for everyone. But then I also feel like the only way you expand your comfort zone is to do something that you're not comfortable with. And that's the only way you're going to get there. But if you don't even take the first steps or even try to do anything, you can always use that as an excuse.
See, I think it's two different things than being an introvert and being fearful. Because I think we hide behind being introverted, but really I'm just afraid. Like I'm afraid of rejection. I'm afraid of how I look. I'm afraid of how people will perceive me. Not necessarily that I'm shy or I'm introverted. I'm terrified. More likely there's something that's happened to them in the past and it's keeping them from
Well,
doing something currently. And I do what Tiffany said. I do think that everybody has gifts and talents. Everybody. And he did not just deprive you of a gift and a talent or ability or a spiritual gift. Everybody has one. So if that's the case, then he must have you be somewhere within the body of Christ plugged in to use those very things. So I don't really buy that I'm an introverted, so I can't really get involved in anything. I think there's an excuse somewhere in there that's driving that.